why did people want to kill the president? Because even here in Kenya, people are shouting, Ruto must go, Ruto must go. And they want Ruto out of the State House. Even in Burkina Faso, people wanted to assassinate the president who is currently right now.
Yes.
Why?
Political leaders moving around with cash, giving out cash, being corrupt, yet there are some military men and women who are guarding the country who are not being taken care of in the best way. So that made him to support the coup that happened in Burkina Faso in 2022 January. No one elected Ibrahim Traore in office. No one went to choose to have Ibrahim Traore as the president. He took power through force. Yeah. So that is that is the difference, that now you find that people can wish William Ruto to go, and people will now want to even go to the extent of assassinating the president. Now that is the big question that people are asking. Is democracy giving us the results that we need? Or is someone who's an authoritarian and focused leader making the best out of his country? If you look at the systems, the two systems, the West and the East, you'll find that China has a strong man, but China has really developed over these years and is giving them the results that they need. But if you look at democracy, like a country like even Kenya, we've had democracy. We've had a lot of challenges with leaders who are buying their tickets. Recycling leaders. We have dynasties and etc. So we are seeing a challenge, but at the same time, we're also looking at stability. Which model is stable? Hello guys, welcome to yet another great session, and today our plane is landing in Burkina Faso.
Thank you so much, Bonnie. Last time you talked about Trump. It was very fantastic. I learned more about how Trump is doing to Africa. Today is Burkina Faso. What has really happened in Burkina Faso?
In Burkina Faso, we want to discuss about this guy called Ibrahim Traore.
Ibrahim Traore. That is the president of Burkina Faso.
That is the president of Burkina Faso.
A very determined man. So many Kenyans love Ibrahim Traore. So many Kenyans, they say that Ibrahim Traore could be the president of the Republic of Kenya. They wish that Ibrahim Traore. So many people outside there, they don't know who is Ibrahim Traore.
Yes.
Bonnie, who is Ibrahim Traore?
If we want to discuss about Ibrahim Traore, let's begin from the time that he was a young boy. And during that time, he could be defined as a person who was very quiet, but very talented, and was very sharp. The guy was very sharp in school. So he attended school, got good grades, learned or studied geology, and then went into the military. When he went to the military, he was sent to Morocco, where he studied anti-aircraft training. Then came back and also studied about infantry. Infantry is about these armed soldiers who operate on land and in close combat tactical fighting. So infantry is a very, very important role in the military. Then we also saw him going to Mali to fight under the UN when there was a the Mali war or insurgency, to try and help the Malian government fight the insurgency there. So he was a very determined guy also in the military, very focused, very presenting himself in a very forward manner. Of course, very quiet as well, and just targeted. Yeah. So in the army, he saw a lot of atrocities being done against the military officers by the government of the day. And that made him to be unsettled over why the government of the day is not giving the military or the men and women in uniform the kind of support that they need to fight the insurgency in Burkina Faso. You understand, or for our viewers to understand, Burkina Faso is fighting terrorists or terrorist armed groups in the country. And that is a problem that is facing the entire Sahel region, more so in the West Africa. You know, even Nigeria fighting Boko Haram. So it's the same things that is happening also in Burkina Faso.
Even in Kenya.
Even in Kenya, we have something like that.
Yeah,
the same
Kenya
thing.
We fight a group called bandits.
Yes, bandits and sometimes Al-Shabaab.
Yeah.
So That situation is also happening in Mali. That situation is also happening to some extent also in Guinea. So that is what really made Ibrahim Traore to be very concerned about the fact that they were not getting the support that they need from the government. They were not getting the kind of military support or even financial support. He used to say that he's seeing political leaders moving around with cash, giving out cash, being corrupt, yet there are some military men and women who are guarding the country who are not being taken care of in the best way. So that made him to support the coup that happened in Burkina Faso in 2022 January. Paul Henry was being fronted, and Paul Henry took over the country through a coup in January 2022. So that is the first coup that we are seeing Ibrahim Traore somewhere in between there, supporting someone to become a leader. And they expected that Paul Henry Sandaogo will bring change in the way that the government was operating, the way that military men and women were also being seen by the government as well as the general public. But in his assessment, Paul Henry Sandaogo was not bringing the results in the country. So what he did is he also started
What's wrong with this name Henry? Even in IT.
we have Henry, yeah?
Yeah.
So in this one now, the guy we are discussing about Traore, so that there is a need for him now to take action. And being a very quiet person, forward-looking and very formal, he organized and people backed him and they took over the reins of power. In just months later, in September 30th of 2022. That is now when he took off office and became the leader that we now know as the interim president of Burkina Faso. So after that time now we can see him now coming into office and starting to bring changes in the government of the day, as well as we can see him also starting also to compel the nationals to trust in him and believe in him. He got a lot of eyeballs as well across Africa because he is the youngest president, not only in Africa but across the world. At only 36 years of age, born 1988. He is the youngest head of state, he is the youngest president. And everyone is looking at him.
What about the Senegal president?
Which Senegal president?
Yeah.
No, he's not the youngest. He's about, I think, 39 or something.
39 over there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Henry being the youngest president, of course, Africa being a continent of young people, a lot of people are looking at him, as well as his policies. One of his major policies that he is introducing in the country is something that a lot of Africans are really concerned about. Mm-hmm. The fact that we have raw materials here and we export raw materials to go and be finished goods in other countries. So that is a matter that has been of concern to a lot of young people, a lot of educated people also here in Africa. What he is doing is he's creating a gold refinery in his country. He knows that Burkina Faso is rich in gold. They mine gold, but they were mining gold and then taking it to France and other countries so that they can be finished product. By that, you are denying Burkina Faso labor, you're denying Burkina Faso the prestige and all the monetary benefits that will come from having such a refinery. So he has moved a step forward to create or to build a gold refinery plant in his country so that when gold is mined here, it can be refined and to the full process so that you can have a finished product to sell to the outside nations and get all the benefits that will be gotten from that gold. So that is some kind of a development that we are seeing from Traore, that Ibrahim Traore, that he is looking forward to growing his country, as well as he has also looked at the situation of the military there and the men in uniform. And I think by now, because he has been in power for about 2 years, people I think are happy with him because it's not easy to maintain a coup even for a single year.
Boni, I have
Yes.
a question before you continue.
Yes.
Why did people want to kill the president? Because even here in Kenya, people are shouting, Ruto must go, Ruto must go. And they want Ruto out of the State House. Even
Yes.
in Burkina Faso, people wanted to assassinate the president who is currently right now.
Yes.
Why?
The reason is because there are two systems here. We have democracy and we have authoritarian leadership. If you're looking at Kenya, Kenya is a democracy. Of course, we know that our president, come whatever you can discuss about it, was elected through the ballot. The difference is in Burkina Faso, the president did not go through the electoral system. Yes, it is not democracy. What happened is that he took power without legitimacy. No one elected Ibrahim Traore in office. No one went to choose to have Ibrahim Traore as the president. He took power through force. Yeah. So that is that is the difference. That now you find that people can wish William Ruto to go, and people will now want to even go to the extent of assassinating the president in Burkina Faso. Whether he's doing a good thing or not, that is subject to discussion to people. But personally, I think he's doing some development that are very, very important in his country.
Yeah. That's the reason why most of the Kenyans love that president.
Exactly. And he's challenging democracy as it is. He is trying to challenge democracy. And all this is coming from the influence of Russia and the United States. If you look at the Russian model and the United States model or Western model, they are different. The Western model believes in democracy. The Eastern model, Russia and China believe in having a strong man. That is a coup, or just an authoritarian leader that will stay in office
Putin.
almost for the rest of his life, yes. So those are the differences. That we know that Ibrahim Traore took office in 2022, was supposed to end his term in 2024, July. But a communique came out earlier, I think sometime this year, mid this year, and gave statement that Ibrahim Traore will still remain in office for the next 5 years. And something surprising is that they even say that after the 5 years are over, he will still be eligible to run for presidency. So I think we're going to see more of Ibrahim Traore coming in the next few years. That is either he remains in power or someone takes over.
I think this guy is going to remain in power because of if he took the government by force and the work that he's doing right now, it's amazing. What about democracy?
Now that is the big question that
Yes.
people are asking. Is democracy giving us the results that we need?
Yeah.
Or is someone who's an authoritarian and focused leader making the best out of his country? If you look at the systems, the two systems, the West and the East, you'll find that China has a strong man, but China has really developed over these years and is giving them the results that they need. But if you look at democracy, like a country like even Kenya, we've had democracy. We've had a lot of challenges with leaders who are buying their tickets.
Recycling of leaders.
Recycling leaders. We have dynasties and etc. So we are seeing a challenge, but at the same time, we're also looking at stability. Which model is stable? You'll find that democracy is more stable compared to having an authoritarian leader. More so here in Africa, where you'll find people have that ability to be given just a few coins and they can even throw the government or throw the entire country into chaos. So there is that discussion, and you find that even Russia is very, very interested in Africa. And one of the accusations that Ibrahim Traore got was that, are you being funded by Wagner? Is Wagner part of the Cobra? They call them the Cobra Squad or Cobra infantry that is working to eliminate the insurgency in Burkina Faso. So he answered that he is not being supported by Russia, that he has no interest of leaning on one country for support, that he is just working for the Burkina Faso people. But if you look closely, you'll find that he really has that admiration of President Putin and Russia. When Russia held the Russia-African Summit, he was present and went and met President Putin. They even shook hands when he was smiling. They took photos. You'll see someone who has that admiration of President Putin and wanted to work closely with Russia. When he got into power on 30th September 2022, we could see people out in the streets waving Russian flags. So there is some signs that there is some Russian influence in Burkina Faso, in Mali, and in Guinea, and these countries that have taken over through coups. And ECOWAS is not happy.
Yeah.
Of course, ECOWAS, built in democracy, an association of countries with democracy, is now at crossroads.
Yeah.
They are wondering, should we go this route? Should we accept them? Because if you accept these three countries,
it is Mali, Guinea, and Burkina
Faso. If you accept these countries, it's going to be seen as if we are encouraging other countries to do whatever they want to do.
True.
Then again, if we punish them, we'll be losing a lot. Yeah.
Exactly.
And now, Mali, Guinea, and Burkina Faso have resulted. They say that if you dare touch one of us through a military attack from ECOWAS, we are going to make sure that we combine our forces and attack you. That is what they've said. Also, they've said that they want to form a federation. They want to merge their borders and become one country so that they have more power. And if they do that, that will be one of the largest country
in Africa.
In fact, that will be the largest country in the world that will be led by a junta, a military junta. Yeah, and you see these three presidents, you will just find them in military uniforms because these are military people. They've not left their military roles. So that is part of the conundrum that ECOWAS is finding itself in, that yes, we want all these countries to support each other, but there are these people who are doing things that are not in our books. How do we deal with them? And of course, they need each other. You'll find that these three countries are landlocked. They don't have access to the sea. Yeah. They need an ECOWAS country to work with so that they can have access to the sea.
Yeah.
And access to the sea is very important to the growth of a country.
True.
So all these dynamics are coming into play, and in the next few years, we're going to see how they're going to relate together. Of course, Mali, Guinea, and Burkina Faso can decide to work with one country that will have access to the sea, or ECOWAS can decide let it be just like that, and we work with this country. But if they do that, there is a risk that another country might go the same route and say, you treated these people the same way, we need to be treated the same way. Then you'll have the entire West African country being ruled by juntas. And of course, just the other day, just to mention as we finish, just the other day when Kenya's influence in Nigeria about the Gen Z movement happened, the Nigerians went to the streets.
True. And
we saw some Nigerians waving not even the Kenyan flag, the Russian flag. It means that influence is slowly coming into West Africa. And they are very, very worried about it. They are very worried about having that kind of an influence in their countries because these presidents have been elected through democracy.
Yeah.
If you want to have strong men, they're seeing it as a threat, not to their countries as well as to themselves, that this is not the mandate that we wanted. For example, a Nigerian president, Tinubu, can see it as a threat that any day a military officer can overthrow me and will be the same situation that Guinea and Burkina Faso and Mali is finding themselves in. So that is a nutshell of how Ibrahim Traore became and what is happening in the West Africa.
So that means that Kenya is very, very peaceful. It's a very, very peaceful place.
Stable, yes.
It's a very peaceful and very stable
yes,
place.
yes.
That's what I can say.
Yes.
Until next time we say game over.